Hi gorgeous! Happy Frugal Friday to you and a very Merry Christmas to you on this Frugal Friday as well. We're wrapping up the last Frugal Friday of 2015 with a video on the best and worst drugstore products I discovered over the past year. I actually had to edit it down quite a lot because my list was like, whew. But I have about 9 of the best products from the drugstore and 5 of the worst to share with you today. First on our list is my top favorite find from the drugstore this past year, the Rimmel 25-Hour Foundation. I know you saw me wear this one a lot, but it's only because I love it so much. It is the first drugstore foundation I've tried in a long time that lasts for a good amount of time on my face, stands up to Florida's heat and humidity. You know that says a lot. I did a demo with this one in 2015 also. I'll have that linked for you below. Amazing, amazing quality. If you're looking for a new foundation to try, that should be the one. Now, you know I've been hunting for a holy grail drugstore mascara for a couple of years now. I finally found one, and that is the Boots No. 7 Stay Perfect Mascara. Love this stuff. It is the first mascara I have tried in a long time that stays put on my eyes, will not smudge, flake. It lasts all day. It's one of the best mascaras I tried this year. Another really awesome find for me this past year were the Makeup Revolution eyeshadow palettes. Love, love, love. I received a ton of these for my birthday this past year from a really great friend of mine, Kara. Thank you so much for sending these to me. And I have been in love since I first dipped my eyeshadow brush into these eyeshadows. They are so pigmented, last a long time. And I know you've seen these featured in a lot of half drugstore, half high-end videos that I've done. These eyeshadows are extremely comparable to a lot of the higher end palettes. So you can save a lot of money with these, but still get the same great shades that you would with, say, the Lorac Pro 2 or the Lorac Pro 1. Excellent, excellent quality. One of the worst products I tried in 2015 has to be the Hard Candy Glamoflauge Concealer. And I know when I made the video on this stuff, it created a little bit of a controversy with it because a lot of you were saying it's really, really great. I love this stuff. But then some people agreed with me too and said it was just awful. So this is one that I would say you have to try out for yourself to be able to form an opinion on it. But for me, it was a big, and it could have just been the one that I got because the one that I received was extremely runny. And after making the video, many of you told me to shake it up, really mix it together, and then try applying it. I did all that and it was still extremely runny. It was like mineral oil coming out of the tube. So big fat ugh. Another horrible product in 2015 was the Physicians Formula Fiber Mascara. And I did a whole video demoing this out for you and showing you how it applied. And ugh, these little fibers went everywhere. Not only during application were they all over my face, but by the end of the day, when I did the check-in for you in that video, I had more of these tiny little spider legs all over my cheeks. So this was a big fat fail. But another really great item that I discovered in 2015 was the Sedona Lace 28 Pan Blush Palette. I love this palette, not only for the quality of the blushes that are in here, but the price. I think when I calculated this out, it came out to be something like 14 cents a blush, or something like that. It was ridiculously affordable. The blushes are very pigmented, they last a long time, and a lot of these can be duped out with some of the higher end blushes too. Another favorite of mine from 2015 was the Hard Candy setting spray. You know, I tested out so many setting sprays from the drugstore, and this ended up being the one that I kept going back to on an everyday basis, using it in my personal time constantly, and I can't even tell you how many times it saved my face. Another excellent, excellent product to try from the drugstore is the L'Oreal Visible Lift Blur Concealer. This became my top go-to drugstore concealer over the past year. I found myself using it constantly in my personal time, and I'm actually almost out of it. I love this stuff so much. The coverage it provides is beautiful, lasts a long time on the skin, and this is one of the few concealers that I will just wear by itself. I don't even apply foundation with it sometimes because it covers that well. Another favorite find was Rimmel's lip liner in the shade Addiction, and this is a dusty rose shade. The reason that I loved this one so much was because it is a cheaper dupe for the MAC Pro Longwear pencil in Staunchly Stylish, which If you watched the high-end favorites that I posted a couple days ago, that was one of my favorites this past year also. But Rimmel has a cheaper dupe with the Addiction lip liner, and I paired this up with so many drugstore lipsticks over the past year. I'm sure you got tired of seeing it, but I love that pencil. Another favorite find of mine was the Real Techniques Beauty Blending Sponge, and I did do a video comparing this one with the Beauty Blender, and it was one of the best that I tried out from the drugstore. And I think I'm gonna have to do an updated video on that in 2016 because there are a lot of new beauty sponges out there in the drugstore right now. But I loved the Real Techniques sponge because it was very soft against the skin. And I had a couple rips in it over the past year, just two. I wasn't unnecessarily rough with it or anything like that. A little disappointed by that, but other than that, it has held up on me pretty well. And we're talking about using it maybe 2 times a week, so that's pretty good. Another really awful product that I was not happy with at all were the Makeup Revolution liquid lipsticks. I had really high expectations for these because I loved the eyeshadow palette so much, but these wore horribly on my lips. They didn't last worth a flip. They were looking rather splotchy by the end of the day, so I was just really disappointed by these, and I wish that they would have been better because they're at a really excellent price point. So Another blah product that I don't recommend trying are the Hard Candy eyeshadow palettes. I've had some questions on these very recently, and I did review a couple of them over the past year. Not too impressed by these. The pigmentation was off. They were rather chalky and hard to work with. So while Hard Candy does put out some good products, they can be a hit or miss, and I would say skip the eyeshadow palettes. Okay, so this past year I had mentioned in a video that I really loved the Seche Vite Fast Drying Top Coat. But after making that video, several of you came back and told me how horrible this stuff was, and all of the precautions that were on the back of the label causes reproductive harm and all, so I couldn't throw that one out fast enough. And in its place, several of you had recommended the Glisten and Glow HK Girl Fast Drying Top Coat instead. So I went ahead and bought that, tried it out. Whoa, it dries the nail polish quick. I mean, if you need to get out the door and you just want to paint your nails, it's like the best thing ever. Doesn't work so well in terms of keeping the nails chip free as long as the Seche Vite did. With Seche Vite, I could go for 5 or 6 days. My nails were completely chip free. This one only goes about 3 days, so it is a little bit less, but you know what? I will trade in those extra 2 days to be able to reproduce later on. I'm just saying. My last product I have to share with you is a absolute worst, and that is the Ardell LashTite Adhesive. And if you've ever heard horror stories about this stuff, then you know where I'm going with this story. It's a semi-permanent glue, or so they say, but I'm telling you what, this stuff is permanent because the lashes do not want to budge. And when you buy it, it comes with a little bitty bottle of remover. I mean, seriously, that big bottle of remover, and you can go through it like that, just trying to get this glue off of your lashes. So I had to go back to Sally's to get a bigger bottle of this LashTite adhesive remover, and it took me 30 minutes just to get one eye cleared of the individual lashes. And by the time I was done, my lash line was swollen. I was in practically tears because I was so frustrated by this stuff, so I will never use the LashTite adhesive again, and I don't recommend it to anybody. I would say stick with your regular lash adhesive. Even if you're using individual lashes, it's not worth it. And let me know what some of your best and worst discoveries were from the drugstore for 2015. Would love to hear all about them. I hope you're having a wonderful weekend with your family and friends. I am spending time with my mom and my dad in Georgia right now. As you're watching this, I was able to take the last 2 weeks off of the year, thankfully, and get all my recording done before I left. And I just want to say thank you so much for making Frugal Fridays a success. We're going into the 3rd year of this series running on this channel. Can you believe it? It's hard to believe 2 years has gone by, but I'm just so grateful that you're here supporting this series and that it has helped so many of you. So I look forward to creating more meaningful content like this for you in the future. It truly is a joy for me to be able to put these videos together for you. So thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful new year, and I will see you for a whole new Frugal Fridays in 2016.